Hey you, and welcome back to Tap and Tarot. Today we are doing a reading for all signs for Venus retrograde. This is happening today on July 22nd through September 3rd, 2023. This is going on at 9:33 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Tropical zodiac is 28 degrees Leo and sidereal around 4 degrees. Now we're going to shuffle up and see what the message is for each sign for Venus retrograde this year. This happens every 18 months or so. So nothing too out of the ordinary, but it's always nice to see what we will be reviewing. With retrograde is always a review, a revise, a rethink. Okay, so in regards to Venus, this is our feminine energy, love, art, attention, money, and value. Okay. Please do check your rising sign. If you don't know your rising sign, your moon, your sun, and your Venus would suffice, but rising is going to be most relevant and will likely most resonate. This is the Starspinner Tarot by Trungles. It does have 3 lovers cards in it, so if there are duplicates of lovers, you know why. Okay, let's go ahead and cut. So for the collective, we have the Temperance card. This is a Sagittarius card. It does ask us to be able to alchemize and balance energy, asking to understand how we're alchemizing, what we're doing as far as the energy that we're putting out and receiving. This is card 14, so it is a stabilizing card with the 4 and an initiation card with the 1. It breaks down to a 5, so it does indicate some change and some challenges, okay? As far as the collective, as far as Venus retrograde goes, it is indicating that we need to balance our emotions, absolutely understand what we're working with, and that it is all going to be in divine timing. If we can focus on healing and focus on, self-control and sort of this moderation, we will be able to come out on the other side completely healed and having a better understanding of the situation in general. For Leo, you have 9 of Wands. This is happening in your first house. It is indicating that in regards to self-appearances and your actual body, your self-identity, and your attitude towards how you look and how you approach life, you are almost there. You may be feeling like it's a bit of a task and a toil to sort of continue the path that you're on, but it's indicating that you should continue to go and just around the corner basically, and what's coming up next is this sort of self-actualization and realization. For Venus retrograde, it's never advised that you actually move forward on any sort of physical changes, but that you rethink and visit them and just see how you feel about them, and then once it goes direct, then you can actually make some action in that regard. Continue to work with how you see yourself. Continue to work with what you have for now during this period until September 3rd. Just continue to rethink and really sit with yourself. Have some mirror time, because you'll be able to have a breakthrough in regards to your self-image and your appearance in general. Okay, thank you, Leo. Cancer, you have a 6 of Wands. So in regards to your finances, this is hitting your 2nd house area, your actual value system and your priorities. It's saying that there will be some rewards in that regard. During this Venus retrograde, you will be rethinking exactly what you value, rethinking how you spend your income, rethinking how you make your income even, and how you spend your daily time. You will be seeing a new perspective as far as what that means for you, as far as how it looks aesthetically and how you're spending time and how you value the female energy in your life, the women in your life. Also, they may be able to advise you in regards to how you make that income and how you're able to retain it. So, in general, people are going to be noticing a difference in your value system, noticing a difference in maybe even your income and how you spend that income. Okay, thank you, Cancer. Gemini, 10 of Wands. Now, this is happening in your third house. So this is how you communicate, your immediate sort of area, your neighbors, your siblings, and short travel distance, and short distance travel rather, excuse me, and even the things that you learn that are like on a mundane basis. You're feeling quite overwhelmed in regard to your network circle, in a sense, not just your network but just the people that are around you. There may be something going on wherein you're asked to have the brunt of the responsibility. You may be taking care of siblings, you may be having to repeat things over and over during this retrograde, and it can be kind of tiresome and burdensome in that regard. During this retrograde, you are rethinking how you're able to delegate responsibilities and how you're taking them on, how you're able to communicate with your neighbors, and how you're able to sort of hold back certain bits of communication. How to fluff your words so that it's a little bit more received in a way that people can digest, and what you're thinking in regard to doing just that, what you're learning, how you can learn to better your communication and to better just how you're expending energy in general, certainly with the people that are around you. Okay, Gemini, thank you. Taurus, you have 7 of Swords, and this is in the area of your 4th house. So this is not only home, but your self-care, your homeland, so the place that you were born, your mother, even your children, and all of the feminine characters in your life, okay? For some reason, you're being strategic during this Venus retrograde with all of those things. You are trying to figure out a strategy in regards to how to get ahead with not only the feminine characters, but your own emotional situation in your own home. Home being your actual domicile, but also your mind and like how you're thinking and your emotional body. Even how to get a little bit more self-care in, how you're able to take care of home being yourself. You're trying to figure out not only your foundations and how even maybe even a routine is a self-care routine in general, but how you can set up your home in order to facilitate that more easily, how you can have a better sort of mom care or mom routine, a morning routine, something that goes on in your home that is definitely needing an actual foundation, a sort of program, okay? You're definitely being strategic in that regard, but you're keeping things sort of like close to your chest so that once Venus goes direct, you can kind of roll out this plan and everyone sort of has to be on board with it, okay? You're not necessarily saying anything to anyone because you want to make sure that once you roll it out and it's implemented, it sticks and they don't sort of have a choice. Okay, Taurus. Aries, the 4 of Pentacles is happening during this Venus retrograde, and it's hitting your 5th house. So you are sort of trying to stabilize and maintain how you're able to feel joy, how you're able to express joy, maybe keep under wraps or keep stable your children and how you play, how you're able to be creative. If you do have children, you're sort of trying to maintain and balance like mom life in regards to your actual hobbies, and also mom life versus your romance and your sort of like love interest. During this retrograde, you're rethinking how you can stabilize those things and make them a part of, the permanent fixture in your life. You don't want to let anything go by the wayside, but you absolutely want to initiate and sort of rethink this so that once Venus goes direct, you can, hit the ground running and say, okay, this is how I'm able to sort of stabilize this situation. This is the areas in my life that I want to give attention to. Okay, Aries. Pisces. Pisces, this is happening in your 6th house, and it's asking you to give up during this Venus retrograde. Rethink some of your addictions, rethink some of your habits that might be limiting and that might actually be affecting your health, affecting the systems that you've put in place for your fitness and for your daily activities, how you serve others. There may be something that you need to revise in order to actually live your best life in the areas of health and service. Not just service to others, but service to yourself. Even how you're taking care of your pets, okay? What your work habits are, because for instance, if you're having an entire bottle of wine the night before, you might be getting up too late in order to get to work on time or to show up wholly for your responsibilities, okay? Also, how you're being used in regard to this area of your life, how you're using yourself and how others are using you. It might be some sort of like negative or toxic entanglement in regard to the 6th house area of your life during this retrograde. So as September 3rd sort of comes and goes, it's asking you to rethink what's going on in that area so that you can show up as your best self. Okay, Pisces? Aquarius. This is happening in your 7th house, and it turns out that this is the Lovers card. This retrograde is actually going to be asking you to revise relationships, what you're willing to put in and what you're hoping to get out of it, what your heart limits are, what your boundaries are, how this love affects and reflects on your personal and interpersonal style, okay? Even business contracts and things like that, you're revising them, going over them with a fine-tooth comb. Are you getting out of what you expected and what you put in, what you feel like is fair? What's balanced and equal in regards to this love relationship? You're also being asked to even rethink the things that are future endeavors as far as promises made and as far as contractual obligations go. I may have thought last year, that I wanted to be married within 2 years, but maybe now I'm rethinking that, or even how that marriage would look. It's smart to go ahead and put into writing and to really communicate and talk about, as an air sign especially, what those expectations are, and they can absolutely change. That is your for sure prerogative. So just being able to communicate to your romantic partners and business partners about what some of that looks like during this retrograde is going to be your focus. Okay, Aquarius? Capricorn. This is happening in your 8th house, and it is the 5 of Swords. So you may be thinking about very heavily the legacy that you leave behind. You may be thinking about your shared finances, how things are going into a pot and being allocated, and the resources and how they're being used. You also may be thinking about joint ventures, things that you have going on with other people, and sort of what those ventures are going to be yielding and for how long and how you can use them in the future. You may be thinking about a little bit of property situations, the taxes, the value of those things, and how you can make them work for you and those around you long term. You also may be rethinking during this retrograde your intimacy in your sex life, and somehow you're feeling like you're not getting the most out of it. You feel like you're leaving a bit behind. You're not sort of benefiting the way you thought that you would be benefiting from other people's role in your life in the regard to intimacy and sex. You also are thinking about whether or not you're inheriting all that you're actually putting forth. Now, that may or may not sound to you like some sort of sex work exchange, which you also sort of have to revise, maybe even your idea of what that means for you. You know what I mean? Like, just because you're putting out certain things, you expect to get sex back. What does that mean for you? And is that what you intend to sort of project? This is definitely calling to revisit all of your eighth house matters, and that's going to be a shared partnership of any kind, whether it be physical or tangible resources. Okay, Capricorn. Sagittarius. The Lover's card again. This is happening in your ninth house. And you rule the ninth house. This is regarding travel, wisdom, your higher philosophy. What does love and business partnerships and even love for yourself, how does that translate into what you believe? Not just about law and religion, but culturally and actual relationships and your ethics as well. This Venus retrograde is asking you to revisit and understand and really get deep down into how love, art, and attention and even value is going into ninth house matters. So even your higher education, how are you loving the subjects that you're studying? How are you falling in love again with other cultures and relationships that are sort of foreign and far away even? What do you love about traveling and how you want to get into traveling a little bit more, and how that ties into your education and your understanding of the world at large? Okay, Sag? Scorpio, this is hitting your 10th house, and this is a 10 of swords. So you may be coming to an end as far as your career and the hurt that you have been sort of consuming in that regard. Your public image and your reputation may be being revised during this Venus retrograde. It's asking you to rethink some of the things that are associated with the structure that you've built around your career and what you're known for, and versus long-term goals. It may be that you're starting from absolute square one because you're not really in alignment with what you've built so far. You also may be thinking about situations in regards to your father and his reputation, what he's known to do and what he's known to be like, what he's infamous for, and what he does in the public. You also may be thinking about fame, not just fame in the sense of celebrity, but sort of even what the people in your neighborhood know you to be. You may be wanting to change some of that, and you in the past may have had some sort of hardships in that regard, and you feel a little bit defeated in that area. So this Venus retrograde is certainly a time to sort of revise some of that and plan to implement new ideas and new truths surrounding that 10th house space. Thank you, Scorpio. Libra, this is happening in your 11th house, and this is a Four of Wands. You may be celebrating with a group of friends and your social network circle. There may be some sort of hope or wish that came true that you're now seeing to fruition and see come to light. You're walking through the door of a new space, and it feels very nice and fresh and much welcomed. In regards to technology, you may have even sort of gotten a piece of technology as a gift, or are implementing some sort of new technological system that has helped you get to a new place in your career. Maybe you have figured out how you were originally averse to sort of like FaceTime and messenger services and things like that, and you've gotten into new video calls, and you've realized how much that can really help you to celebrate your friends and your family, and how that enhances just what you want to happen. how you want to use technology in the future. You're celebrating a new understanding in that regard. And it happened sort of all at once, and very fresh and alive again with this wand's energy. It's very pioneering. So that is a great situation to be in during Venus retrograde. And you're also trying to implement new things for the future during retrograde, and to sort of come up with how you can maintain this and really keep it going because it has served you well. Thanks, Libra. And Virgo, this is happening in your 12th house, and this is the star. There is a lot of healing and realization of gratitude and gratefulness going on in regards to your spirituality. This Venus retrograde is absolutely going to bring about some sort of solitude, but you're drilling down and honing in on your subconscious and how some of these limiting beliefs have led to your wounds in a way, and you're willing to let that go and sort of rethink and revise how that really no longer serves you in regard to healing and moving on, and bringing in the things that you want to have happen. Okay, you're also thinking about older age and like what happens after this life is over, after the love, the art, the monetary gains. What's after that, and what sort of Venusian details sort of tie into spirituality, which I can tell you is a bunch. Aesthetics and the look of things are inspiring, but there's something after that. There's something underneath that is also equally beautiful. How your spirituality can be or can inform your aesthetics and your value of things that are here on 3D Earth, but also helping you to ascend and imagine the beauty that is beyond this world and this life as well. So thank you so much, Virgo. And again, all of this is in regard to temperance and us having to sort of balance and control ourselves in regards to all of the things that we're revising and rethinking, but also, have healing in mind, and wanting to temper and understand these things, and understand that it's not just, one extreme or the other. So we're all having to take into consideration the area that this is hidden in our lives, but also just in general beyond the retrograde, how feminine energy, love, art, attention, value, aesthetics, and luxury is not just enhancing our lives on the surface level, but underneath it all as well. Thank you so much for watching. If this resonated, please go ahead and give me a thumbs up. Let me know how it resonated down below in the comments, and subscribe for future readings regarding all of the astrological events for this year, and hopefully upcoming events as well. Thank you so much, and I'll see you in the next one.